Did you know that Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world? But what if I told you that it actually has deep roots in ancient pagan practices? Stay tuned because I'm about to reveal some shocking truths you might not have heard before. Since the dawn of time, people have worshipped the sun, the moon, and everything beneath them. These early civilizations, often referred to as pagans, had their own unique gods and rituals. In ancient Egypt, for instance, massive temples were built to honor gods like Amun and Ra, while gods like Osiris, Isis, and Hathor were also revered within the temple complexes. The Greeks, with their pantheon of gods, constructed the temple of Zeus at Olympia, but also included representations of other gods like Apollo, Athena, and Hermes. The Romans weren't far behind, building the temple of Jupiter Capitolinus dedicated to the king of the gods, while also venerating Juno and Minerva as part of the Capitoline triad. But what about the pre-Islamic Arabs? They too had their sacred place, the Kaaba. This ancient structure once housed around 360 idols, each representing different gods or deities. For example, Hubal, the chief god, was closely linked with the moon and was considered the principal deity of the Quraysh tribe. Alongside him were Al-Lat, Al-Uzza, and Manat, goddesses associated with fertility, destiny, and other aspects of life. These idols were central to the religious practices of the time. Pilgrims would travel to the Kaaba to venerate these idols during the annual pilgrimage known as Hajj, a practice still observed by Muslims today. And if that sounds familiar, it's because part of the pilgrimage involves circling the Kaaba in 360 degrees, a direct reflection of the 360 idols that once stood there. There's also a ritual of circling the Kaaba 7 times, symbolizing the sacred 7-day cycle which signifies completeness and cosmic order. But what happened when Islam came into play? In 630 CE, Prophet Muhammad took control of Makkah and ordered the destruction of the idols and pagan decorations from the Kaaba. Yet, despite these changes, many rituals that had deep pagan roots remain, even to this day. For instance, Muslims pray 5 times a day, and if we look closely at the timing of these prayers, we see that they align with sacred times, many of which originated in pre-Islamic practices. Before dawn, at the break of first light, after midday, when the sun has passed its zenith, in the afternoon, when the shadow is the same length as the object, just after sunset, and finally at nightfall. These times were sacred for pre-Islamic Arabs, and they remain so today for Muslims. But it gets even more interesting. The Kaaba, much like ancient monuments such as Stonehenge, is aligned with celestial events, such as the sun's position during the solstices, marking important times of the year. Now, the Kaaba wasn't specifically built for astronomical observation, but it's oriented towards Mecca, and its alignment with the Earth's magnetic field makes it a crucial focal point for prayer for Muslims worldwide. Now, some might argue that this is all a misunderstanding or that this is part of some hate campaign. But all the sources I've presented come from trusted Islamic texts, including the Quran itself. So what do you think? Is the Kaaba truly a holy site dedicated to a single god, or does it carry remnants of its pagan origins? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get a conversation going. But before you do, consider this. Are modern-day Muslims unknowingly continuing the ancient pagan worship that once flourished at the Kaaba? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more thought-provoking content.